our last video, we talked about how the opening HTML tag and the HTML closing tag would hold all of our content in our HTML files going forward. In this exercise, we'll start to develop some of our content. I'll again use Notepad++ and continue with the file we had previously saved in the Lessons folder under the Unit A folder in the Publisher Provided Materials. We'll start by adding a tag called Head. Notice that the book mentions hitting the spacebar 3 times. This will allow the tag to be indented and allow it to sort of stand off from the rest of the code. Indents, spaces, and line breaks are only included for readability in the HTML. For the most part, there is no gained functionality from spaces and line breaks. However, the increased readability gained by good spacing habits, indents, and line breaks will pay off as our HTML becomes more complex. Once we add the head tag, we'll want to include a closing head tag. As with other closing tags we've talked about so far, the closing head tag is simply the head tag preceded by a /. Notice in Notepad++ that the editor detects this pairing and links the opening and closing pairs. Keep in mind that this linking is not really part of HTML, but it's a visual indicator that's a great tool as you continue your code development. We'll then create a new tag within the HTML tags, but outside of, below the head tags. This new opening tag is the body tag, and then we'll include a closing body tag as well. Notice that some of the tags in our document are indented and some are not. This is related to the concept of a child element, sibling element, and parent element. You don't really have to know what that means right now, but going forward it'll become more important. In the case of what we have so far, the head and body tag pairs are child elements of the HTML pair. They exist within the HTML pair. We'll discuss this more in the future, but for now you can read about this concept at the bottom of page 9. We now have completed 2 tag containers in the document within the HTML parent tag. The first is the head container and the second is the body container. In the next exercise, we'll start to fill these containers with content.